How's it, people? Welcome back to MotorZar TV, South Africa's leading Formula One fan channel. It's me again, Ulufefe Mayegiso, famously known as the F1 vlogger. We are here for season 3 of MotorZar TV. We're going to talk about the 2023 F1 season. But before we get there, you're probably wondering, where is he? I'm at Vernacular, the newest hotspot in Johannesburg, on the corner of Oxford and Checkered Drive. It's on the first floor at Ilovo Junction. The physical address is number 1 Checkered Drive. Vernacular, that's Vernacular. Okay, I was just checking my spelling there. Anyway, Vernacular is a cigar and bar lounge, very premium, on the first floor with 2 decks covering both the streets that I've mentioned. And it's theplace.com, take it from me. Come and check us out here, because this is our new home for the Watchalongs. We're going to be hosting most races here. And then when we're not here, we're going to be doing experiences at different venues, but we will get to that at a later stage. So we've been accommodated here. There's multiple TVs, there's decks, there's excellent service, brilliant drinks, and it's just, it's the place. That's all I can say. So enough about Vernacular for now. So I want to talk about what we've been doing during the winter break. Winter, obviously, in the Northern Hemisphere, because it was actually summer break here in the Southern Hemisphere, South Africa. So I went home for the holidays, but you're probably not really interested in that. What we really want to talk about is the work that we've done. So last weekend, we were out in Cape Town for the very first Cape Town E-Prix, which was absolutely amazing, if I do say so myself. We were hosted by the Department of Tourism. They put us in a VIP in the beachside lounge, which was right by the beach. So on the one side it's the track, on the other side it's the beach. Had stretch tents, and the food was amazing. Kudos to the organizers of the E-Prix. They did really well. Yes, there were some logistical challenges, but I think overall I'll give them 7 or 8 out of 10, especially because they were hosting it for the first time. So the Department of Tourism gave Chloe and I tickets, and then we were seated there with our videographer, and it was just amazing. We enjoyed the racing as well. Who's this fella now? Felix da Costa. He won the Grand Prix. It was his first race win of his Formula E career. We actually ended up meeting with him at the Grand Beach Hotel later that day, because they were actually celebrating, and that was so shwaka, and we took a couple of pics with him, etc. You can see those on our socials. So then we got another sponsor, King of Africa, who are actually sponsoring this stream as well. Now, King of Africa, they are a sporting brand that is doing promotion of sports within Africa as a whole. You'll learn more about them. They've even sponsored this stream, and then they sponsored us with accommodation. So that helped cushion the blow for us, because obviously we're a startup and we enjoy that kind of support from the different brands that we work with. Now I'm going to get into Formula One, the business of the day. So this season, we obviously, as the leading fan channel in South Africa, need to always level up in terms of the content that we are delivering. So we're introducing 2 new shows this year, starting this Saturday with a show called MotorZar Picks. So MotorZar Picks is a concept based on Super Brew. Super Brew is a fantasy league for various sporting codes, but my friends and I have been playing it this is going to be our 9th season playing it, and we're called the Dangerous Darkies of F1. However, this year, I'd like to invite fellow F1 fans within the MotorZar community, who likes to call them friends of MotorZar, to come and join and play the Super Brew League with us under the MotorZar Picks. That's the name of the group. We will leave the link in the description and obviously on our socials, so that you can register and sign in, and then you can start playing the day after tomorrow. This video is being recorded on Thursday, the 2nd of March, so it's 2 days that you have. We were looking for 20 players who are going to play with us throughout the season. And then we have a mystery box where you'll win great prizes for the top 3 finishers. There is an entry fee of 150 Rand, which is payable by the end of this month on the 31st of March. Anyone who hasn't paid by then but is registered in the group, unfortunately we'll have to exclude them in the interest of being fair to everyone else who has paid and is participating. So how does Super Brew work? So you predict the outcome of the race weekend. Starting from Saturday, you predict pole position. There are points allocated for each correct answer. And if you do your selection before qualifying, you will get an extra bonus point, because obviously the reflection of the results of qualifying give you a clearer picture if you do your picks after quali. But there's a penalty against that. But if you see maybe that you've chosen an incorrect finishing based on the grid, you're allowed to change it, and then you sacrifice those points for the early picks. So you pick qualifying, top 10 finishes, and fastest lap. And so the most accurate answers will then be awarded the most points. And that goes through race by race until the end of the season. So you must remember to play every weekend so that you don't fall behind. It's very competitive. We're looking for 20 players. So I will be doing a show which will be hosted by me prior to qualifying, between FP3 and qualifying, where we will talk about, well, I'll reveal my picks to you because I'm not going to play, obviously. It would be an unfair advantage. So I will say what my picks are, and then maybe you can make your picks after watching the show and before qualifying, and then qualify to obviously gain points through the season. So we're going to have a mystery box throughout the season, where at the end of the year, we're going to award prizes in the mystery box for the top 3 best finishes of the MotorZar Picks Super Brew League. So please come and join in. Link is in the description, as I say. Then that's the first show that we're going to be introducing. So I'm going to do that one every Saturday after FP3 before quali, maybe like an hour or an hour and a half before quali. I'll obviously post the times on the Friday or the Saturday before quali. So that's the first new thing. Then the second one is on Mondays, we need to start unpacking what happened in the Grand Prix. Of course, we're going to retain our generic content, which we've been doing already, which are the fan cams, which are the post-race interviews with the people who have joined us here at Vernacular for the Watchalong. So on Monday, I will be joined by Patrice Loni of F.1 Godfather, a French Instagram page, hugely successful. What great content. Check them out at F.1 Godfather. They're based in France, and we are just going to be unpacking the whole race weekend on a Monday evening. So stay tuned for that as well. So those are the 2 new shows that we're introducing. Of course, we'll be doing our usual build-up before the Grand Prix, which will be hosted by our presenter, Chloe Grace Mbanza. And then we'll be doing the watch-along, which will be live streamed on our Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, exciting times coming through. The Monday show, I didn't tell you what it's called. I know it's kind of cheesy, but we're calling it the Checkered flag. Makes sense, doesn't it? So I'll be doing that one with Patrice, as I said. And obviously we do a whole lot of media as well to promote F1, because what we actually want to do is promote F1, not just in South Africa, but in Africa as a whole. So I'm a contributor on ENCA with Morena Motupi, mid-morning between 9 and 10 on Sundays when it's race day. Then on the Monday, you'll catch me on the Hat-Trick View, which is the show with Sizo Mabena, Ricardo Genesis, and Digeledi Chabalala at Vision View Sports Radio. We keep posting the links and all of that when I'm there, and we do a live stream on our Instagram page where you can follow the content. So stay tuned for that as well. That we do on the Monday morning, where we unpack the Grand Prix with the people that I've mentioned, of course. And then now there's something brand new that we're going to be doing. I don't know how often we're going to be doing it, but for this race weekend, the Bahrain Grand Prix, we're actually going to be having a live feed on Newsroom Africa, where they'll be crossing over every hour from around 2 or 3 o'clock from their studio in Randburg to here at Vernacular at the venue, where they'll be covering what's happening with the Watchalongs. So that's going to be really awesome, I think. Now, let's talk about the racing. Of course, last weekend was also pre-season testing. Generally, I don't read much into pre-season testing because no team wants to show their hand prior to the season starting. So I think we're going to get a clearer indication of who's who in the zoo, or rather who's who in the grid. Tomorrow, a little bit in FP1, a bit more in FP2, but more so in FP3 when we see the quali sims, and then obviously we'll have qualifying, I think at 5 o'clock, which I will be recording the MotorZar picks from this very venue, Vernacular Lounge, in Ilovo at Ilovo Junction, and this is where you're going to find me, and I'll be watching the quali from here as well. They have a whole lot of sports that they're going to be showing that day, because there's Premier League, there's F1 of course, I can't remember, but there's a whole lot of sports. So come and check out this place. They have beautiful TVs, smart, clarity, everything is just shaka. I kid you not, come see for yourself. So we'll be doing the qualifying here, and then Sunday obviously the race. So what can I say about what I've seen in terms of the pre-season testing and who is looking quick? The team that's really looking promising is Aston Martin. Of course, they have a new driver lineup with Fernando Alonso joining team owner's son, Lance Stroll, as teammates in the team from, where are they from? Woking? Somewhere there in Britain anyway. So Aston Martin, they were looked extra quick. Red Bull, they're still the leader of the pack. Max Verstappen was killing the lap times. And you best believe they're also not showing their true hand, even though they were so quick. I mean, that Honda engine. Can you believe that it's the same engine that was in the McLaren in the early 2010s, like 2012, 2013, and used to break every weekend? And Red Bull have really done so well, turning around that engine from what it was to what it is today. Obviously, they are the Constructors' champions, winning both championships last year, and Max clinching his second Drivers' Championship after winning in the controversial Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in 2021. But last year, fair and square, fair play to him. There's nothing that can be held against him. They dominated the season. He won, I think, 13 races. So he really, outdid himself, and now he's coming into his own as the mature driver that everyone was saying that he would become. Kudos to him. So Red Bull leading the pack. Second is between Mercedes and Ferrari. Ferrari, they didn't look like they were ultra quick, but I feel like, maybe they were sandbagging. So we'll see where they are. Are they ahead of Mercedes? Because Mercedes, they struggled at the beginning of last season, but as the season progressed, I feel as though they overtook Ferrari in terms of genuine pace. Then Mercedes, who've turned their car back to black, the black Mercedes. Of course, they introduced that concept in 2019 with the aim of creating awareness around Black Lives Matter following the death of George Floyd at the hands of the police in America. So that car has a good omen, the black Mercedes. Last year they went back to their traditional silver, but the car was dog-deed. So yeah, black Mercedes is looking third. Then I think Alpine, who finished fourth last season, they are a French team with a all French driver lineup, because they've been joined by Pierre Gasly, who has replaced Fernando Alonso, who of course went to Aston Martin. So I think they're fourth quickest. A team that seems to be struggling more than others and more than usual is McLaren. They also have a new driver lineup with the Aussie, Oscar Piastri. Look out for him this season. People have been saying I've been gassing him, so now the time has come to see what he can actually do. He'll be teaming up with Lando Norris, who seemed very frustrated during preseason testing, even punching the wall, and that was actually caught on camera, because he's basically not happy with where the team is compared to last season. If you think about 2 seasons ago, McLaren were the fourth best team after Ferrari. So last year they finished 5th behind Alpine, so they won't have been happy with that. They were also left by team principal Andreas Seidel, who is now the CEO of Sauber. Sauber being obviously Alfa Romeo, but they'll be converting to Audi as of 2026. So I think they're starting to prepare for the future, because Audi is actually making I was going to say return, but I'd be lying. Making their entry into Formula One. We're still on the Heineken Zeros, even this year. So yeah, shout out one time to Heineken. Yeah, but basically I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to say we're looking forward to the season. Obviously it's Bahrain this weekend, then in a fortnight we're going to Jeddah for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Those are the only 2 Grand Prix in March. Then the 3rd one will be in Australia, which makes a comeback in Albert Park. Oh wait, Australia made the comeback last year because they weren't there the previous 3 years due to the COVID situation. And if you remember in 2020, everyone was already in Melbourne when they cancelled the season based on the fact that there was an outbreak and the whole world was in lockdown. I'm going to stop right there because I could talk F1 on and on and on and on. So it's me, the F1 vlogger from MotorZar TV. You can find us on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, okay, I did say Facebook. Where else? Everywhere. TikTok. Wherever you look, you're going to find us. And it's the same handle, at MotorZar_TV. South Africa's leading Formula One fan channel. Shout out one time.